OpenAI recently released a dedicated Codex app, and a part of that is a feature called computer use. And I am convinced this is the future of automation. This allows Codex to control anything and everything on your computer with your permission, of course. This video is sponsored by HeyPolo. Now, most people that know of Codex think of it as ChatGPT's answer to Claude Code and its coding platform, its coding specific platform, but it can do so much more than that. It is an automation and productivity tool. Now, the computer use feature of Codex, which is what I'm mainly focused on in this video, was created by the team that formerly worked on Workflow, which became Shortcuts, which when they left Apple, they created an app called Sky, which never actually got a public release because it was acquired by OpenAI. Now, I'm going to go through a few examples of how I have been using computer use in my everyday. These are real world examples of what I've been doing with it, not just like demo projects that you kind of see in a lot of AI videos. So to get started with computer use, you need to install the Codex app, not the ChatGPT app, but the Codex app. And I will link to everything in the description below. Once you have the Codex app installed, you're going to come over here to plugins, and you're going to want to make sure you have computer use installed. And once you install computer use, there is some system permissions that you need to do, pretty typical Mac OS stuff, accessibility, screen recording, things like that. You just need to give it permission to do all that stuff, and then once you do, you can use it. So the first demo I want to show you guys is something to do with managing your email. Specifically for me, I get a lot of receipts and a lot of like invoice paid emails, and I need to keep track of those for tax stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the Mail app. Now, the Mail app, for those that know, they don't have a CLI or anything like that. There is no command line interface. There's nothing that would hook into like Claude Cowork or anything like that. So what computer use is going to do is it's going to interact with mail. So the goal of this automation is I have this folder right here called Sane Receipts, and this is where all my receipts come in at. You can see I have 3 in here. I just ran this the other day against 68 receipts. So this thing can, there really is no limit to this other than like your token usage. All of these right here, what it's going to do is it's going to go through these, and then it's going to come into my numbers document. And I have an expense tracking document, and this is my actual expense tracking document, and it's just going to add these receipts to my expense tracker. So that's what we're going to do with this. Okay, so what we're going to do is in Codex here, we're going to use natural language to tell it what we want it to do. So I need you to go through some receipts. And then so whenever you want to use computer use, there's a couple of ways you can use it. You type the @ symbol, and you could just type computer, and that will trigger the plugin for computer use. But what we're actually going to do this time is we're going to type in at mail. So you can see right here, it sees the Mac app mail. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up. So it's going to tell it to go into the mail app, go through my Sane Receipts folder and add these receipts to my, and then we're going to tell it my expense tracking. Actually, it's just called tracker, expense tracker document in at, and then again, we're going to say at numbers here. And then so basically this is our automation right here. I need you to go through some receipts. In add mail, go through my Sane Receipts folder and add these receipts to my expense tracker document in numbers. Add the name, date, and amount. Let's go ahead and run this. This video is sponsored by HeyPolo. HeyPolo is a privacy-first location sharing app with a ton of features. First off, it's cross-platform, so if you're on iOS, you can see where your friends and family are that are on Android devices or vice versa. Second, it has a bunch of killer features. Flexible visibility, so you can set it so you can share your exact location, a general area, or turn on a private mode. Notifications, so you can know when your partner, say, left work so you can start working on dinner. A low battery status warning, so if somebody just suddenly drops off the map, you know not to panic that, hey, their device probably just ran out of battery. There's also trip history and an emergency check-in system so you can quickly let your group know that you need help. HeyPolo is created by the same team behind my favorite VPN, Surfshark, so they know privacy and cybersecurity. And they're bringing the same standards from Surfshark to HeyPolo. And at no point can anyone on HeyPolo track you without your consent. Now, there's a few different reasons why you might want to use something like this. If you're a parent, you might want to keep track of your kids and just know where they are at all times. My girlfriend and I use location sharing all the time so we can know when the other person is going to be home. We also have an upcoming family trip to Disneyland, and I'm going to be pitching HeyPolo to the group. I think this could be a really great app for just kind of knowing where everyone is in the park. In HeyPolo, you can create different groups for events, friends, families, anything that you could think of, any kinds of groups that you want. You can create as many groups as you want. And of course, like I mentioned, no one can be added without their consent, and at any point you can stop sharing your location with anyone. Be sure to check out HeyPolo today. Go to heypolo.com/lolly and use code LOLLY to get 40% off your first year. My thanks to HeyPolo for sponsoring this video. Now, the first time you interact with an app, it's going to ask for permission to work with it. You'll see that right down here. Now, I know I want Codex to interact with mail, so I'm going to click Always Allow. But just know that means anytime you tell Codex to interact with mail, it's going to just interact with it without any permissions. Now, you could turn that off and it would just hit Allow and it will ask for permission every time it interacts with mail. But I'm going to select Always Allow. And now it's going to start looking through mail and it's going to start going through that receipt. And what you can see here, what makes it cool is there is another cursor now. There is this cursor over here, and it is interacting with mail options. It's doing stuff in the background. So I can come over here and I can open up Reader and I can start browsing through Reader while it's doing this stuff. Or, hey, great, X-Men 97 stuff. And it's still doing stuff in the background. It is not taking over my computer in any way, which is really, really nice. That's what makes this impressive, is I'm still interacting with my computer. I'm still doing stuff I want to do while it's running this automation in the background. So even though it's using the GUI and it's creating another mouse, another pointer, I'm still interacting with my computer. I'm still in full control of my computer. This stuff is just happening in the background. Okay, so it looks like it found all 3 receipts, and like I said, it did like 68 the other day. So I'm not just throwing it a softball here, but that's just what I had in this folder. So it found all 3 receipts. Now it's asking for permission to use numbers. Again, I'm just going to click Always Allow here, and then I am just going to click Allow. And now it's going to start going through here, and it opened up my expense tracking document, and it'll start adding stuff to this document here. So it sees that it's opened the 2026 sheet. It's going to worry about column A, C, and D, like I told it to skip column B because I made an issue here that I personally need to fix, and that's something I will do later on. But again, I'm interacting with my computer on top. It's doing all this stuff in the background. Now, by no means is Codex and computer use fast. It would probably be quicker for me to do this stuff, but what's nice is this is happening in the background. This is repetitive stuff that I don't necessarily need to be the one to do. And because of that, I can do other tasks. I can edit a video. I can work on photo edits. I could answer email while it's going through my inbox and stuff like that. Like, I don't need to be managing all of this stuff personally. And because these are repetitive tasks, I don't need to be doing these all the time. It can do this while I'm reading my RSS feed. That is really nice. And so we can click back over here and you can see that it's added those items, it's added the dates, and it'll go through and take care of everything else. So it's going through and it's saying, you know, what the items were that I bought, what the total was, when I purchased that stuff. Okay, so it finished up, it added those 3 items, it added the totals, it added the date, it gave us, you can see all that right here in Codex, and basically that means these receipts are done. Now, I could have added one more command, and I should have when I did that, to basically take these emails. In fact, let's just do it. Take the emails from that folder and move them to 2026 receipts. And it's going to think on that for a second, and it'll kick off it here. Now, what I should have done is I should have added this to the initial prompt so it would have happened in all one go. I didn't. I just didn't do that. But as you can see, it moved those emails. They are in the 2026 receipts folder, and it'll finish up here in just a second. Pretty cool. And again, all happened in the background. Say I wasn't using numbers here. I was using Google Sheets. I could use the plugin for Google Sheets, and this would actually all just be even faster because it wouldn't be using my computer, it wouldn't be having to manually click through things. It would be using the actual plugin for Google Sheets and all that stuff. So that would be faster if you use Google Sheets, but I use numbers. I don't want to switch my application because a tool can't interact with it. That's the cool thing about computer use, is anything that is on your Mac, computer use can interact with it. Doesn't matter if there's a plugin or not. There is no numbers plugin. So Codex on its own wouldn't have been able to work with numbers. It was only because of computer use that it was able to interact with numbers. So anything on my Mac, anything in my dock, applications folder, desktop documents, anything on the Mac, it can interact with because of computer use. And that's really cool. Okay, so for our second demo, I want to show you how computer use interacts with Obsidian. Obsidian has been my note-taking and writing app for a really long time now. And Obsidian doesn't have any plugins for Codex or even Claude Cowork or anything like that. Now, the nice thing about Obsidian is it's all just file-based. So really, you don't technically need any plugins for that. But I want to show you how I have been using Obsidian with Codex and computer use. So I'm going to go over here to New Chat. And now what's interesting about Codex is you can have it work within a project. So I have a project set up for Obsidian already. So it knows kind of where all my Obsidian stuff lives and stuff like that. You can set these projects up over here. When you set a project up, you can set it up from scratch, name it, we'll just call one test, and you can kind of, tell it where to interact, give it files and photos, and it kind of just understands, it's kind of like a container essentially for that project. So we're gonna go back to New Chat. Let's have it work in Obsidian, and I get a lot of PDF documents, like just a wild number of PDF documents, and a lot of them are filled with a lot of fluff, a lot of extra stuff that I just don't need. So what I have been using Codex and computer use for, and even before that I was using Claude for this too a bit, but now with computer use I can just have it work right in Obsidian, is I will take those PDF documents, have the AI summarize them, make a document for them, and then save them right into Obsidian. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull up a document here, so we'll add files and photos, we'll do reviewer's guide, and let's pick a big one. Let's pick one that's pretty hefty. iOS 15 reviewer's guide. Let's do that one right here. Okay, so the prompt is, this is a reviewer's guide. I need you to summarize and pull out all the key points, then turn it into a markdown document with proper headings. After that, save it into Obsidian, and that's where I, did the @ symbol and typed Obsidian, into my research folder. So I have a whole folder in here called research. So it's gonna save it into here. So let's go ahead and run this. So it's probably going to take a minute because this is a big document. So it's going to go ahead and find all the key points, do the articles, research folder is ready. Let's just let it run. And again, I can just do other stuff while this is running. I don't need to pay attention to this. It's cool. Yep, I can do them whatever I want. Now, what I love about computer use is how accessible it is. This is all just running via my just natural language text prompt. And it even did some stuff with Python and stuff like that. You don't need to know Python. You don't need to know how to use the terminal. You don't need to know what applications have a CLI or a command line interface. You don't have to deal with Clawbot or any of that stuff. It's all just right there. And in fact, it looks like it just finished, or it's almost finished right here. Yep, it finished. It did that summarization in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's come over here to Obsidian, and there you go. That is our summary of the PDF document. This is now in my Obsidian vault, so I can search for it inside Obsidian. I don't have to open up a PDF document. This is in Obsidian. I can link to it. I can do all the stuff that you can do in Obsidian, which is a lot. I've covered all that already, but this is really, really handy. I am very impressed by this. Because like I said, it's incredibly accessible. I didn't need to know how to do terminal stuff or how to install Python or any of that stuff. Like, I know how to do that, but I didn't need to mess with any of that stuff. Codex and computer use handled all that for me. Okay, so far I've showed you how you can manually run automations, which is handy. Like, that is something I do quite a bit in shortcuts and stuff like that when I just have a one-off thing that I just want an automation to run in the background and take care of itself. But automations are at their best when they can be triggered automatically, hence the name. So let me show you how you can do it based on time. So let's come over here to this automation tab, and there's some preset stuff built into it, but we're going to ignore that and just go to new automation. And in here, you can tell it where you want it to work. But the important part right here is you can tell it when to run. So there's hourly, daily, weekdays, weekly, or a custom field plus time. So I'm going to set this one to run at 12:10 a.m., so a little bit after midnight. And there's a few other options in here that you can play with, but we're just going to focus on this stuff right now. Now, what would be really nice out of the demos that we did is I could have set up an automation to run that receipt to expense tracker automation. So that way it just goes through my email a little bit after midnight every single day and takes care of that, makes sure my expense tracking spreadsheet is always up to date. But let's do something different. Let's move on from that. But kind of sticking within email, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this guy right here. I already wrote out the prompt. So this is going to let's fix it up a little bit. So let's have this go through mail, and it's going to add that to at parcel. Help if I could type. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this automation look for any email in the mail app that has, let's clean this up, that has come in the last 24 hours. Actually, let's switch this to the last week because I don't think I've had anything come in the last 24 hours. In the last week, just for the sake of the demo, but you could just do 24 hours, to come into the sane later or sane receipts folder that has any tracking information. Add that tracking information to a parcel, include the name and tracking data, double check that it's the right carrier. I'm going to add something else to this. Ignore anything from Amazon, because Parcel has automatic Amazon integration, so I don't need it to worry about Amazon packages. It would just be wasting tokens on that. So let's go ahead. I got to title this, and let's just call this tracking info. So let's go ahead and add this. Select a project. We'll just call it test project. That's fine. We'll throw it in there. Now, I'm not going to wait until a little bit after midnight to show you how to run this. So I'm just going to manually run it now. And it's started. Let's go ahead and click into this. Now it's going to start thinking. It's going to start opening apps. And again, this all happens in the background. And this is a timed automation. So the only thing that needs to happen for this to run is my computer needs to be on and Codex needs to be open. This really benefits from like a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio because you're probably not going to want to leave a laptop on all the time. Let's see if it gets confused on this because that is not the mail app. That is just a mail window. It might get confused on that. That might be interesting. Oh, nope, it figured it out. Nice. Okay, all right. So it's going to confirm, it's going to look through stuff. Let's see, it's going to start clicking through mail on stuff in these folders to kind of find something with tracking information. I know there's at least one thing that fits this criteria. So I know at least it should find exactly one thing, but it could find more. All right, so it found the tracking information for my dog's dog food. It added it to parcel and went ahead and named it the appropriate thing, the Life's Abundance. That's the name of the dog food. I mean, I would have just named it dog food, but that's fine. Like, I know what that is. So it also went through and double checked and made sure that was the proper a carrier, because sometimes parcel can get hung up on the wrong carrier. So it did go through and double check to make sure it was the right carrier before saving. And there it is. It's all there. It's already been delivered, which I know I have it in the other room, but that worked out perfectly. So yeah, there you go. There's one more timed automation. So another automation I want to show you guys is something you could just do with, your files, like Finder. So let's come over here to Finder, and I have a video projects folder, and whenever I finish something, I always add thumbnails to this _ finished thumbnails folder and videos to this _ videos folder. But I always forget to back them up to my NAS or move them to my NAS specifically. They get backed up via Time Machine, but I have a specific folder in my NAS. We'll come over here, archive, showing hidden folders, hidden files. Let's see here, projects, and then video archive. So every single one of my videos has been saved here, or almost every single one. I lost some of my earlier stuff, but let's go ahead and set up an automation so that every day, if there's anything in this folder, it automatically gets backed up here. Now, this is something you could do with Hazel, but Hazel, requires you to do some clicking and some logic and stuff like that. The benefit of computer use in Codex means we can just do it all in natural language. So let's come up here to new automation. We'll just leave all this alone. We'll set project to test. That's fine. We'll just call this finished video archive. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to @ computer use right at the beginning. So we're going to tell it we need to use computer use. Okay, so what I did with this prompt is I started off by saying @ computer, and then I just told it, I want you to move any files that are in my finished videos folder to my video archive folder. The video archive folder is on NAS-FS01. I probably don't need that last sentence, but it didn't take me any extra time to really add that. So I just put it in there just to kind of give it a leg up. Let's go ahead and create this right here. Now, there's 4 items in here. So if we go ahead and run this right now, let's go ahead and click into it. It's going to be thinking for a minute. It's going to find these folders, and then it's going to start moving that around. Now, like I said, I told it was computer use. It's going to do this stuff. Oh, it's asking if I want to use Finder. Again, I'm just going to click always allow. And it's going to look for Finder. My one complaint about Codex and computer use is their prompts for like asking permissions kind of blend into the app a little too much, so you almost miss them. That is kind of an annoying complaint. Now you can see here it's searching for the folder. It's doing its own thing over here. Let's just, open up Reader while it's doing that. Oh, hey, cool. There's stuff happening. Wow. Okay. Oh, Codex would like to use the network volume. Allow. And once you get through the system permissions the first time, it shouldn't be asking you this stuff again. I have purposely made sure I didn't do always allow so I could show you the system permissions and stuff in this demo. But now that I've been doing this, I'm just going to click always allow. Because this stuff, I know what I'm doing. I know what it's going to be running, and I'm okay with it to just always run. So it's moving stuff. I verified the target. 2 files with the same name already exist, so I'm going to do non-overwriting move, leaving the existing archive. Okay, so I've actually already copied some stuff over there. That's my fault. But I'm glad it's not overwriting anything. That's good. That's really good. And again, this is all stuff, it's using terminal commands right here, but I don't need to know the terminal commands because it's doing it for me. It's really cool. And you can kind of see behind this window, that stuff has actually started to move. There was 4 items in there. Now there's only 2. So this is a little interesting. It saw that there are 2 items named the same, but they differ in size. So it's running a comparison. I probably have another video named that in there, that like an older video that I did that's probably just like the template name, not the YouTube name, but like the template name that I just exported as is the same. So it's going to appear different, and okay. One duplicate is safe to clear. Nice, okay. Does not match the existing archive, so I'm preserving both by moving the source copy. Sweet, so it's gonna move both, it's gonna keep both. That's perfect. Fantastic. Okay, so right here, we finished up. Let's go ahead and close this. You'll see all the finished videos are gone, and they are in the video archive folder on the NAS now. So this is something that, like, I just forget to do it all the time. But now my computer's just gonna do it for me in the background. I don't need to worry about it. That's really handy. So far I have showed you how to run automations on your Mac, for your Mac, completely when you're sitting at your Mac. But what if you're not sitting at your Mac? What if your Mac's at home and you just have your iPhone? Well, as long as your Mac is on and Codex is open, you can actually run computer use automations on your iPhone and everything is happening on your Mac. So let me show you how that works. So we're gonna open up the ChatGPT app because there is no Codex app, and you need to come into the Codex option in here. Now, you'll have to, basically there's some setup that you sync Codex on your phone to the Codex app on your Mac. There's just like a QR code that you scan. It's really super simple. But once you're set up, you'll see at the top, you'll see your computer name.local, and there'll be a green dot if it's connected. Mine's Donatello because all my devices are named after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we're going to come in here to chat now. So we have this new thread here, and I am going to come into this plus button right here, and I'm going to select computer use. So that tells it it's gonna, it's gonna work on our computer. It's the whole thing that we've been doing this video. I'm just gonna hit the dictation button. There's an audio file in my downloads folder. I need you to take that and run it through the application Hush. Set the output destination to my _temp folder. It is in the documents folder on my Mac. Do not change any presets in Hush, just run that file. So there it goes. We sent the command to, you can kind of see here if it focuses. It sent the command, now it's responding, and it's, okay, so you see all the commands are now happening on my iPhone here. I could just lock my iPhone and let it do its thing. But I'll kind of show you as it goes through. So it says it's using computer use. It's found several audio files in the downloads folder, several in a timeline folder. That's fine. The destination, it sets the destination to be the _temp file. It's going to open Hush and leave its current presets. So it's doing its thing. It's asking for permission to use Hush. So I'm going to approve it. And then once it does that, it opens it on the Mac, and it'll start doing its thing. So I'm gonna move this over and click here so you can kind of see that it's doing its thing. It's all running on the iPhone. Hands up, I'm not doing anything. It's thinking. There you go, it found the right temp folder. It's opening that, all still running on the iPhone. Looking for the audio file now. There it goes. It found the audio file in my downloads folder. It's processing that audio file. So this is something I do all the time. I process audio files all the time, but I don't really need to be sitting at my computer to do this. There's nothing in this app that I need to manage. So what I could do is I could set up a command to watch my downloads folder, see when there is a timeline.zip file, unzip that file, look for the audio files, process those, save them to the folder, and then that way when I come and sit down at my Mac, my audio files for my podcast are ready to go and I could just start editing. This isn't something I need to wait on because while Hush is a really fast application, these are really large audio files. They're, typically hour to hour 15, hour 20 minutes. So they can take a couple of minutes to process. This is not something I need to sit here and babysit. This is a perfect example of how I can use Codex and computer use on my phone to trigger something on my computer, and then by the time I get here and sit down at my computer, it's ready to go. All right, so Hush is finishing up here. I know this is going to go smooth because Codex is basically done now. It's just going to save it to that temp folder. But this right here is really making me want either a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio to just leave always on so I can just have it do stuff for me. And when I get to my computer, those files and those processes and those projects are ready to go and I can start doing my creative work. It's so cool here. We can go over in a Finder now and I'll show you it's there. It's this one right here because it adds the suffix _fixed. It's so cool. All without me needing to do any programming, without me needing to know terminal, CLIs, install any weird third-party apps or plugins or utilities or anything like that. It took care of everything for me. I didn't need to do anything. I literally typed a couple of sentences on my phone, and did a process that normally takes me a couple of minutes to kind of drag and drop and move things around and stuff like that. And it was just there ready to go. Very impressive. I'm really wanting an always-on Mac now, especially either a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio, but I'm kind of waiting for the M5 updates. But I think I either have a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio in my near future. Okay, so those are quite a few demos of how I have been using Computer Use. Computer Use is free to use with ChatGPT and Codex, but with the free tier, if you use it pretty heavily, like the stuff I did in this demo, if you were to do this on the free tier, you would run out of tokens really quick. So I am paying for the $20 a month plan, and I haven't ran into any usage issues just yet with Computer Use. Maybe if I keep using it more and more, maybe I might then. But the $20 a month plan seems to cover everything for me. But that's Computer Use. I want to hear from you all. What do you think of Computer Use? What are you going to use it for? Let me know in the comments below. My thanks to HeyPolo for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day.